Sarah Orza is ballet. She has effortless technique, artistry, humanity, humility, and I think those things follow her inside and out of the studio and in every interaction she has in her life. She's a principal ballerina, a mentor, inspiration, in some cases counselor, and ultimately a friend.
Not only is she a beautiful ballerina, but she's a beautiful mother, and she's just amazing at being a mom. And Lola and I are very lucky to have her in our lives.
Sarah is just a joy, and I am very lucky to have her as my friend. She's an old soul. She has always had a story to tell, which was great to watch.
There are so many things about Sarah that make her unique and special as both a person and a dancer. Sarah is thoughtful and deliberate, in her dancing and off the stage as well. You can see her intention from the refinement of her feet to her delicate, perfectly placed port de bras. When I watch her dance, it is as if her dancing and the music are one. You can almost see the music through her movements. Off stage, she has a fiercely quick wit. She is an avid reader, and her own prose as a writer has often brought tears to my eyes. Above all else, she is the mother to one of the sweetest little girls I know. Nowhere else is her intention seen more clearly than in the way she raises her daughter Lola.
When I was 4 years old, my father gave me a book titled A Very Young Dancer, and this book chronicles the journey of a young girl living in New York City and her life as she attends the School of American Ballet as a child. And it also gives glimpses into the New York City Ballet itself, showing these beautiful ballerinas in stage makeup and tiaras performing and in rehearsal. And I just immediately latched onto it, and I was enraptured by it. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to that incredibly beautiful School of American Ballet and dance in the company of the New York City Ballet. My parents, rather unwittingly, had sparked in me this intense desire to make ballet my life, but they were willing to let me go down that path kind of on my own. And my dad painted houses during summers so that I could be kept in pointe shoes, which were not cheap, and so that I could attend the summer courses in New York City. And my mom drove me hours each way to dance class daily. And ultimately they let me move to New York City when I was 16 to really begin to pursue my dreams.
We met back in 1994 at the School of American Ballet summer course, and I remember meeting her in the lobby on the 5th floor by Studio C, as we're all excited to be at SAB for our first years. And from there we dated as teens, and our careers in the school kind of took the same path, and we both went to 4 summer courses in a row, and we both got our jobs with New York City Ballet in 1999. Luckily, we both were able to get hired at that time.
When I arrived at the School of American Ballet, I was very unpolished, unrefined, miles to go in technique and strength. But nevertheless, I had some incredible teachers decide to take a chance on me and give me opportunities to grow and to be seen. So Suki Shore and Susie Pilar and Kay Mazzo, for some reason, just believed in me and gave me these incredible opportunities, and also confidence, because when they chose to believe in me, that just felt like everything. And I'm so grateful for their support and kindness over the years. And ultimately, that support allowed me to join the New York City Ballet, which fulfilled another dream of mine. That part of my career was very awe-inspiring and intense and hard and wonderful, and I'm so grateful to have had that experience.
It's been a really amazing experience to share our careers together. Watching and dancing with Sarah, all of our New York City Ballet time was exciting and fun and stressful because it was our first time being in a company and being in it together and sharing our experiences on stage and the stress of learning ballets, and it was just a whole new world for us, which was really fun to share.
We've known each other for almost 25 years, grew up together at the School of American Ballet, and joined New York City Ballet at the same time. And when Sarah joined PNB, I was lucky enough to come out and stage Year of the Rabbit. So we got to work with each other again on the other side. Even though Sarah's younger than me, I've always looked up to her as my older sister. She took me under her wing and took care of me when I was a kid, when we were both kids. She cooked for me, kept me fed, gave me advice, mostly good. Sometimes she gave me some bad advice, but she knows what she did. Sarah was the mature one of our group, and the maturity was carried over into her dancing too. I think that Sarah was a swan queen, even at 15. She wasn't the type to just jump out and do something without thinking about it first and trying to process it. Once it was time to show, I think Sarah would present with such beauty and grace and thoughtfulness. But Sarah loved to have a good time too, on stage, which is something I'll never forget.
In 2006, Sarah decided that she wanted to try something else and retire from New York City Ballet. And she worked for one of our friends for about a year, but she actually really missed dancing. She was young, 25, and she definitely wanted to dance again, and I was definitely on board to try something new, and we both knew we wanted to settle down and have a family and continue our careers dancing. And we gave Peter Bowl a call, and Peter was all in. And we were really excited that we would be able to go to a different company together again, which is very rare for a couple to actually be able to go together and get jobs at the same time. So we got married in 2007. I think I finished Saratoga with New York City Ballet in July, flew to Seattle, looked at some spots to rent with Sarah, and then we flew to California and got married, and then back to New York and packed up, and then went to Seattle, and then the season started. That summer was definitely a stressful summer, but we did it together, and it was nice for Sarah to come back to dancing because that's where I thought she belonged, and I think she definitely felt that as well.
Ultimately, it was Peter Bowl, who I had had as a teacher and admired as a colleague and as an incredible principal dancer at New York City Ballet. When he took over the Pacific Northwest Ballet, my husband and I kind of thought, I wonder what's going on out on the West Coast, and what is Peter going to do with this company? And so I'm also so grateful to Peter for taking Seth and I out here and giving us this opportunity to build the incredible life we have out here.
We did a lot of different core things together in our New York City Ballet days, but at PNB we've done a lot of ballets at this point. We've done Apollo, we've done Dances at a Gathering, Appassionata, Carousel, so many different roles, and it's been, at a certain point we clicked really well on stage, almost 8 years ago probably, where we really were able to perform really well together and know where each other are without really talking about it, more of just feeling each other out. And one of my favorite times on stage with Sarah was Passionata. It was when we first premiered it here, and that ballet is so hard. Thanks, Benjamin. And it's one of my favorites to perform, but there's a moment in the pas de deux, you're just kind of huffing and puffing and kind of running around and dancing together, and then there's just a moment of kind of silence when everything calms down and you're back to walking and you're just staring at each other's face. And yeah, that moment always meant a lot to me, and to share that with her on stage where it's just her and I, it just felt like a moment between us, even though we were in front of 3,000 people. Yeah, it's just something that I'll always remember out of all the things that we've done.
Sarah Orza has played many roles in my life as a dancer and person in the short time I've had the opportunity to know and be around her. We were first paired together in 2015 when I was added to dance a pas with her in Forsyth's New Suite at PMB, and I will never forget how excited I was and intimidated. But she was so gracious with her time and energy and patient with me. I was so humbled, and I think it's really formed the way I think about partnerships, dance, and people. Over the last 4 years, we have gotten to dance some major career highlights together. I will never forget sharing and watching Sarah dance Jerome Robbins' Opus 19, The Dreamer, in Seattle and Paris, Ken Stoll's Swan Lake, and lastly, sharing the stage with her in Balanchine's Agon this last fall.
One of my favorite times watching Sarah was when she premiered Swan Lake. I thought that was a big achievement for her, and I was so proud of her because she worked so hard and she was beautiful in that. I'll always remember that performance as well.
I think what has ultimately guided and shaped and pushed and challenged me and kept me going is the work of learning new choreography, of hearing music and figuring out how to fit these already perfect steps into that music, nuances of hand, just the detail that you can apply to your work. I have enjoyed that immensely. And when we have had the opportunity to work with stagers who have been so gracious with their time and their knowledge and their encouragement, that has also been some of the greatest experiences that I've had throughout my career. And I'm so grateful for that.
Moments in the dressing room together are some of my most cherished memories working with Sarah. So much of a dancer's life is spent in the dressing room, and it's where I believe the roots of our friendship grew deep. There were no limits to our conversations while sitting in front of the mirror putting on our makeup. Ballet, marriage, books, gardening, where to go for lunch. Then after having our babies, holding each other up and commiserating about how we were going to get through a show on 4 hours of sleep the night before.
She's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and she has had me on the ground just rolling in tears because of something she's done or said or wore. If it's a big quilt that she decided to put on as fashion and walk down the streets of New York City, or put clips in her hair about 100 and think that it's normal. Trying to not look at her on stage was the safest thing to do, because if you caught eyes with her, you could easily lose it and forget the choreography and look bad, while she would continue on without missing a beat. She was that clever.
And in 2013, we had our daughter, Lola, which is one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever experienced. And sharing that again with Sarah is something that's amazing. I mean, I'm lucky that I live with someone that can do it all. Watching her transition into motherhood and negotiating our schedule, which is ridiculous. She definitely puts Lola first and still can perform ballet and dance at the high caliber that's required.
Watching Sarah come back to dancing after having Lola, I saw so much resilience, vulnerability, patience, and grace. When I came back after having my son, I felt like she was a lifeline. She understood the small feats that felt unimaginably hard, the anguish of being away from your child, yet still feeling passionately drawn back to ballet. I remember asking her how she was doing it, and she said she was going to take it day by day. Needless to say, she was able to take it day by day for 7 more years. And in those years, she took her dancing to the next level and became a principal, dancing some of her most exquisite roles yet. PNB Stage is losing a true gem, but Sarah's impact on the company will be a lasting one. Sarah, while I will miss your sublime artistry, I'm excited for you to move on to your next passion working with families as a doula. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you the very best in your new season.
Congratulations, Sarah, on such a wonderful career. You've danced with 2 amazing companies. You've done some incredible things, and I've been so lucky to witness it from the beginning through your adulthood and to see you grow and nurture everyone around you. I think that you're a natural caretaker and lover. I gravitate towards you like others because you just give such warmth and sun and just a caring spirit. I'm excited for this next chapter, and I'm excited to grow old together. I know we don't live in the same city, but I always feel close to you, and you're always in my heart. I love you, and we'll keep singing our Dixie Chicks and our Most Def and our 90s hits and our Everything But the Girls. You are my boo, and you're part of my house.
Our in-studio moments working with Forsyth, Laura Graham, Francia, Kent, Peter Bowl, Wendy Whalen, and Otto, to name a few. Our on-stage triumphs and mishaps. Your wit and charm every day in the studio, I will miss the most. But ultimately, I know you will always be there for me. I cherish our partnership as one of the most precious things I get to continue to have in my life. And I really can't thank you enough. Cheers to an amazing career, Sarah.
I'm really excited for Sarah to retire and to go into her transition, which she's a postpartum doula, and she works really well with mothers and supporting mothers. So I'm really happy that she's happy to be moving on. And yeah, I think she's just really excited for the future, even though these times are rough right now. And yeah, I'm just really excited for her future steps. I'll always remember she was promoted after Emeralds finished, and I was able to bring Lola up on stage with her, and it was really, really, really amazing for Lola to experience that and see her mom succeed as a ballerina and make it. All the best to you, babe. I'm excited for our future and can't wait for it. All right, love you.
I'd like to say to the current artists of Pacific Northwest Ballet that I just wish you all the best, and I know that times are challenging, to say the least, right now, and I feel nostalgic as I look back on my career and I was kind of thinking over some of the challenges that arose early on in my career, and I remember my very first Nutcracker with New York City Ballet. The orchestra had gone on strike, so we danced to recordings. And then a couple years into my career at New York City Ballet, September 11th happened, and that was an extremely difficult time to live in New York, and scary and frightening, and it impacted the ballet greatly. So I guess essentially what I'm saying is that there are challenges that come, and we rise above them and we persevere through them, and I know the arts will rise again, and I just encourage you all to continue to support each other and respect each other and respect the work and your art form and yourselves. And I guess this is ultimately farewell, P&B. I love you all.